Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Jano Lieber, Acting Chair and CEO of the MTA, and I'm here with my partner, Chief Customer Officer Sarah Meyer, as well as an old friend in a huge new role, Richard Burry, who is the Robinhood CEO, and Kathleen Culhane, another old friend who is president of New, and one of the new participants, Zandra. She's got only one name. It's like Madonna. She is a non-traditional employment for women, which is a great organization, and Zandra is one of the participants in that training and apprenticeship program. So we're gathered here today on what is the subway's 117th birthday, I'm going to note. Love that, love that. We're gathered to celebrate the good news about the MTA's new bulk MetroCard sales program. As part of the Welcome Back campaign that we've initiated and which has been running all over the MTA system, the MTA is going to be working with businesses to help them transition employees back to work. Good for them, but also good for the region and good for the MTA. That involves selling them MetroCards directly so they can give them to their workforce as a convenience and as a perk. This isn't a new phenomenon. Many companies already provide Transit Check, which is a federally sponsored initiative, as a benefit already. But ramping up this program now, as more and more New Yorkers are heading back to the office, and they are, we want to expand bulk sales to help support the region's recovery, to help businesses bring their workforce back, to increase MTA revenue, of course, and also to benefit low-income New Yorkers for whom this really will make a huge difference as they move from work at home to in-person work. It's a win-win for businesses and for the MTA. By making fare cards available, they get to offer their employees a cost-effective perk. And for us, these employees are reminded of how fast and easy and efficient the transit system and indeed commuting itself in general is. There's no better way to get around all of the New York City region and to participate in the city's recovery. We know bringing back employees to work is huge for everybody, for the region in general, and any incentive we can offer to ease the transition is good. We're in the middle at the MTA of doing this itself. We've had a lot of our white-collar office workforce still on what we call an A-B scheme, and they're coming back to work. I announced that last week, and we're going to go full-time in a couple of weeks. Another aspect of this is that it's part of fare strategy. Fare strategy has been a priority for me since I took the chair at the beginning of August. And this initiative is a step in the right direction. Aside from the work perk, it's a way to raise awareness about equity for employees and especially for those who may need assistance. To expand access to the system for low-income New Yorkers, we're going to be working with the city, as I have said again and again, to double participation in the Fair Fares program. That is a program that's available to 700 to 800,000 New Yorkers, but where we only have 200,000+ of them enrolled. And we are pushing hard to make sure we double that number in the next year. That's the program, Fair Fares, that provides discounted, generally half-price MetroCards to low-income New Yorkers. And it's something that inspired our discussion with Robinhood, which is a leading organization, a huge force in the effort to fight poverty in the New York region. In the meantime, while we're starting this effort, groups are already starting to take advantage of bulk sales. The Gray Foundation, led by co-founders John and Mindy Gray, generously purchased 10,000 MetroCards as part of a donation to Robinhood, which is an amazing contribution that we think is precedent-setting and is a message to the entire New York business community. I'm proud to work with great community partners like Robinhood, and it is really a treat to turn the podium over to my old friend, former Deputy Mayor, now Robinhood CEO, Richard Bury.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jeno. Thank you for those kind words. So great to be here with you. Such an important part of the leadership of the city, from the rebuilding of Ground Zero to the revitalization of the MTA. So great to be with you. Great to be with you, Sarah Meyer, MTA's Chief Customer Officer, who we were pleased to work with on this project. Today we are gathered because Robinhood is joining forces with the MTA to provide 120,000 free rides to low-income New Yorkers so they can get back to work and back to school. As New York gets moving again, we want to make sure that all New Yorkers have that opportunity, especially those who are most dependent on mass transit and maybe least able to afford to ride it. Last week, Robinhood held our annual benefit at the Javits Center, the first time we've come back together in person since the start of the pandemic. And we were fortunate enough to raise $77.5 million to help fight poverty in New York City. And thanks to the generosity of the Gray Foundation, as you heard, founded by John and Mindy Gray, and an anonymous donor, we were able to purchase 10,000 Metro cards, which we featured in an installation that served as the entryway to the nearly 3,000 guests who attended the benefit. You can see in that picture the image that guests saw as they walked into the Javits Center for our benefit. Each Metro card has a face value of $33, and Robinhood is distributing 10,000 of those cards in groups of 250 to 40 of our community partners who provide critical services such as job training, housing, food, early education, and their public benefits to our neighbors. According to the Community Service Society, low-income New Yorkers spend more than 10% of their income on transit alone. So the affordability of transportation is a critical challenge for low-wage hourly workers, and even more compelling barrier for New Yorkers who are unemployed, in school, or completing a job training program. We know that getting New York moving again is essential to our city's next great comeback. So is the health of the MTA. And that's especially true for the 1.5 million New Yorkers who live in or near the poverty line. As we begin to recover from the pandemic, we need to make sure that we do not leave the most vulnerable New Yorkers behind. The unemployment rate in New York is still double the national average, and the number of households in poverty continues to increase. Providing New Yorkers with these Metro cards means a student can go to class, a parent can pick up their child from daycare, or a single mom can attend a job training program in order to make a living wage. What might sound like a small gesture is really a pathway to opportunity. And even more importantly, as Jano said, as we make these Metro cards available to our community partners, we're going to be providing information about the city's Fair Fares program, which provides low-income New Yorkers with subway, bus, and accessoride trips at 50% less than full fare. By promoting this program, we want to make sure that New Yorkers who receive these Metro cards can continue to have full access to the amazing opportunity provided by the MTA at a discounted rate over the long term. We know that we are the greatest city in the world, and we have the world's greatest transit system. And we need to make sure that our transit system can connect every New Yorker to opportunity. And we're excited to partner with organizations like Non-Traditional Employment for Women, one of the community partners who will be receiving these Metro cards, an organization that places women in jobs with strong wages and strong benefits in the construction, utility, and maintenance trades. And we're so excited to partner with them, with the MTA, and with New Yorkers as we work to get New Yorkers back on their feet. And with that, I'm happy to pass the mic to Sarah Meyer, MTA's Chief Customer Service Officer.
Thanks, Richard. I'm so thankful for your organization's work as we bring New York City back. We all know that lower income communities were hit the hardest by COVID, and so grateful that Robin Hood is here, providing job training, programs for children, and other important resources. So just to explain a bit more about how the bulk sales program will work, employers can order pay-per-ride or unlimited Metro cards online or over the phone. Companies can offer these cards as return-to-work incentives, as part of reward programs, business-to-business gifts, or however they see fit, supporting the city's economy, thank you, supporting the city's recovery along the way. I'll note that there's a minimum order requirement of 50 cards, but that the purchases do not carry the $1 green fee that applies at booths and at MBM machines. Eventually, we will expand the bulk sales program to Omni, our tap-and-go system, which has skyrocketed in popularity over the past year. Omni taps account for 25% of all fares collected now, up from just 7% a year ago. But to bring it back to the Metro card, we're so excited to offer this bulk sales benefit to businesses as a way to support commercial centers and increase transit ridership. Even though I've noticed Fulton is a lot busier than it was a couple months ago, and I think my colleagues and I are really thrilled to see this many people going through the turnstiles, we're still 55% of ridership. So we're doing everything we can to increase those numbers. Our number one priority is increasing that percentage and bringing the city back with us. We're ready to meet the moment, having done a ton of signaling work, structural work over the course of this year. We've sped up the trains. You can literally feel it, especially on this Lex line at night. I really encourage you trying it. The system's also cleaner thanks to our around-the-clock disinfecting efforts. So give us a chance, come back to your commute, and please wear a mask when you do. Now I'll turn it over to Kathleen Culhane, president of NEW, a nonprofit that received 250 Metro cards from Robin Hood, thanks to the Grace Foundation's generous bulk purchase of the Metro cards. Thank you.
Excited to be here today and want to thank the Robin Hood Foundation, the MTA, and the Gray Foundation for supporting tradeswomen in New York City. As Sarah said, I'm Kathleen Culhane, president of Non-Traditional Employment for Women, or NEW. NEW's no-cost pre-apprenticeship workforce development training program equips low-income women and girls, transgender, and non-binary individuals with the skills to succeed in a union trades career. And as we know, union careers are proven pathways to real economic stability, and as many women as want them should have these opportunities. NEW's innovative curriculum includes hands-on classes in carpentry, electrical work, lifting and carrying, trades math, and health and safety training. Through NEW's programs, graduates gain the experience and support needed to excel in a union trades career. The pandemic has exposed the inequities that New York City women, particularly Black and brown women, face each day to not only gain employment, but to access affordable and consistent transportation. Transportation presents a difficult and underreported challenge to low-income workers. The donation of Metro cards today means that women in New York City can access NEW's programs and start their journey towards a career in the skilled construction trades industry that offers livable wages, benefits, and a pathway to the middle class. Women who receive these Metro cards will have the opportunity to build their own future, much like new graduate Zandra John, who is here with us today. Zandra, a tile setter here in New York City, went from earning $12 an hour as a teacher's aide to now making more than $32 an hour, and she hasn't even started making her full tile setter rate yet. Careers like Zandra's not only come with strong wages, but also health and retirement benefits and best-in-class training. Removing transportation costs for unemployed and underemployed New Yorkers is one of the crucial first steps to building back New York City equitably. I'm so happy to be joined here today by new graduate tradeswoman Zandra, and would like to invite her up now to share her story.
Thank you, Kathleen. Hey, everyone. My name is Zandra John, and I graduated from NEW in 2017. Right now, I'm a tile setter with Local 7, and I did these tiles that we're standing on here today. Thank you. Not to sound cliche, but NEW was definitely a life changer for me. When I found NEW, I finally found my purpose. I went from I can't to I know I can. NEW saw potential in me, and it really pushed me forward to start my career. It wasn't easy at all, but it was worth it. I didn't even know that a career in construction was available for someone like me, but it really changed my life. To go from $20K a year to $70K a year is really a drastic change. I went from trying to make ends meet to now I have like a lot more stability. But beyond the pay, beyond the benefits, I'm happy, I love what I do, and it brings me joy to know that I'm a part of like building my city. Every time I see things around, like I'm so excited that I know that I'm helping my city grow. Being a woman in construction, it can be very challenging, but it makes you confident, it makes you resilient, it makes you know that you can do anything. It's important to support women who want to enter the trades, and by providing them with MetroCards to cover transportation costs, it can remove a barrier for them and bring them one step closer to working alongside with me. Thank you, Robin Hood Foundation and Gray Foundation, for your continued support, as well as the MTA. Thank you.
Okay, you ready? We're going to take questions. Come stand with me while we take questions from our friendly press corps.
Oh, we got a mic? Yeah, thanks. I got a couple, Jano. You say you're trying to double enrollment in fair fares. You guys said that before. What are you doing exactly to double enrollment? Can people sign up at the MTA customer service centers?
Well, if you ride the Lex today, as I did, you'll see there is a new advertising campaign that is going all through our system that is just about making sure that people are aware that low-income New Yorkers can go on a website and qualify for half-price discount MetroCards. So we teamed up with the city's department. It's the Department of Homeless Services, but also the Department, I'm not going to say it right, but Department of Health Services that Steve Banks leads. And what?
Human Resources.
It's HRA, I'm sorry. We teamed up with HRA, and we are doing a huge advertising campaign, pushing it out on our hundreds of screens that we've installed during COVID in the system, as well as traditional advertising in subway cars. So we're determined to increase this number.
But if you can't afford to ride the subway, how are you going to see those advertisements?
Look, people are riding the subway, and they have family members who are riding the subway. The principal problem here is that they're being, they don't know that they're eligible for a half-price ride. And we have to get the word out. This is a transformational program for low-income New Yorkers. We're teaming up with Robin Hood because they are among the highest profile, most successful, and largest active groups providing anti-poverty services of all kinds. That's what this is. This is a fight against poverty. This is a fight for equity of New Yorkers. If a New Yorker can't get to a job, to health care, to education, he or she doesn't have a shot at improving their situation. Mass transit costs and making it affordable is huge in that equation. That's why we're doing this.
One more real quick. Have you had any movement or update on the restoration of cash or hand-to-hand transactions and subway token booths?
Look, what we are working with the union very successfully on rethinking the customer service operation. There's only a tiny, tiny infinitesimal percentage of our transactions that really need to go to the booth. The vending machine does almost everything, literally. So what we're doing is we're working. We have to accommodate those folks who need one-off senior citizen rides and one-off disabled rides. But most of our disabled and senior citizen customers get a regular pass, which they can use day after day after day. So we're dealing with that aspect. But the bigger issue is the MTA needs a new customer service model, and working with Sarah Meyer and the team at the MTA and the union, we're going to make sure that we deliver better customer service and that we keep the jobs that we have of station agents. I think that's our shared goal.
Thanks for taking my question. This one's for Jano as well. There was on Twitter a few weeks ago, a subway staff member said that the Omni cards automatically switch to unlimited depending on how many times you've used it in a given period of time. At what point does an Omni card switch to this unlimited usage? And if you don't have that in place yet, what is the plan to bring this in?
Well, first of all, what you're talking about, this is called fare capping, and it's one way of taking advantage of Omni, which we are going to do. But we're looking at all the different ways we can take advantage of Omni. Right now, as Sarah said, Omni is 25% of our fares, which is amazing how quickly it's been adopted by New Yorkers, the tap-and-go systems. Now there's a card you can buy that allows you to do it even if you don't have a credit card or an app or Apple Pay. So it's becoming widely available. Well, the next phase is to look at how do we use Omni to give people more appealing fares. That is a subject that we're getting into at the board. The board has ultimate fare responsibility. I've chartered a board staff working group. They're going to come out with recommendations in a couple months. That's where the idea that you're talking about and others like it will be considered in that context, Kenny.
But just yes or no, is there at any point where it already caps if I use an Omni? Like
right,
if I
right
keep
now,
tapping,
Sarah,
or does it just keep charging me new fares?
So right now the system is paper ride, and in order to do best fare, we'd have to institute a pilot approved by the board. So that's what we're hoping to do, and we just need a couple more months to work out all of the logistics.
Other questions? Anything else?
Okay, great. Thank you again to Robin Hood. Thank you for a big investment by Robin Hood and the Gray Foundation.